pop-up episode today on Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Oh, Girl Dinner.
That's gorgeous.
Ooh, yeah, pop-up episode. For those of you who are too young, pop-up video for you youngsters.
We're gonna reference a couple things. Background right off the bat here, Mr. DNA from Jurassic Park. But then I'm like, I wonder if half of our listeners even would recognize that. And then, did I tell you that when I went out with Justine to the, I met her at Comic-Con or some con, but I just went out for like a drink with her beforehand. And the guy, our waiter at the casino, was like dressed in some kind of cosplay thing, I assume from Star Wars or something. But at this con, Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox were there, like for Back to the Future. Like, it was like, cost $1,000 to even like meet them. So like just But this waiter was like taking our order and like he's like, oh, have you guys been to the con and whatever? And he's like, I went yesterday. And I'm like, oh, did you get to see like Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd? And he's like, yeah, I got pictures. He's like, me and my siblings all got together and we like pooled our money because it was going to be a gift for our mom that we got something signed. And he's like, yeah, I've never seen the movie, but like my mom, that movie came out when my mom was born, which would make his mom 2 years younger
than us. Oh, yikes.
Like, what?
Wow. She must be like in a wheelchair, and that's why she's not here because she's so old.
I was like, ooh, that hurt. Yeah. But anyway, we're doing a little pop-up. We might do these every so often. Yeah. You'll never know. But look, there's sometimes things come up and during the week and we don't get to actually give it our attention. People's internets go out for half an hour. So we don't get to focus on things.
I know I'm still recovering from that.
You were more affected by it than me. You were frazzled when you came back.
I haven't even told you the part where like I didn't know that it was our that like the internet fully went down. I was like, okay, what is happening? You know, like what you just don't know. Anything could be happening. Like my house could have gotten hit by lightning. I don't know. All I know is that the whole computer, like internet went black. I'm like, oh my God, scrambling. Adam was home. And as I'm like, oh my God, he rips out from his wall that's like installed all around the baseboard, like another hard wire in. Cause I'm like, I don't know about the hard wire. He's like, disinstalling it, uninstalling it, like running upstairs. Things are flying, voices are yelling, full flop sweat. And that was our Monday Live.
It went on
at the beginning, at the start.
God, well,
it was a lot.
Fine. You know what? From now on, I'll just be fully prepared to take. I'll actually come in prepared. What a concept! But you know what I thought of though? We didn't put Polyfamily on the list, or maybe it was on the list, but neither of us put a picture in, so we didn't add it to like the official list. But if Polyfamily had been accessible for me, I could have just talked about that for half an hour, but it just wasn't on the pictures. So I just it didn't even cross my mind to throw that up. So we just
but the news hadn't really broken yet about
Sean. So now we can really focus. Well, it had kind of been rumblings, but then that most recent Reddit thing came on and I actually didn't want to read that on the main feed or whatever. So like it's all conjecture, obviously, but I believe it. And it's more fun to right? So we're going to actually sit here and break down, just talk about Polyfamily. We didn't take notes or anything, but we're both caught up and we can talk about that and the allegations. And then later, Jodie's going to fill us more in on Karen Reed because things are happening in real time.
Things are happening akimbo.
Oh my God. All right, but let's talk about
really my entire life is surrounded around this. Whether the testimony's on during the day or not, we watch it at night. It plays until I go to sleep.
Sending me updates, even though I don't really know what the updates are. I do appreciate you sending them to me because then at least when you do talk about it, my brain doesn't.
I want you to have a little.
Yeah, no, keep sending them. I think it's cute. Oh my gosh, cute. My gosh, she's watching.
I'm like, she's gonna need to know this. Let me just give her just a taste.
But I swear to God, like once Amy and Amanda came in. Also, I want to make it clear because people in the comments were like, "Oh, okay, Amanda, you can breathe. Don't. You're okay." I
Oh
came
no,
on
Amanda was
that
fine.
with
I
a
was in a
full.
full
No,
tizzy.
but I went to puke at one point. I didn't actually puke. I just like stood over the sink, like huffing and puffing. That wasn't because I was stressed. I had the flu. I legit had the flu for 3 days. But I just want to make that clear. I'm not that much of an unprofessional that I was like that I went off the edge that much. But Polyfam. Oh, but so when Amy and Amanda came on, and then you guys started talking about Karen Reed, that's when my body was like, all right. We're just gonna let you shut down for a second and just feel
We can
everything.
settle all the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
we'll
so
talk
let's
about
start with
that second.
Polyfam.
Let's start.
Yes. Okay. Did
What
you
are
watch
some?
episode 3?
I kind of did yesterday, but not like really sitting down and focusing. So
Yeah,
I can
same.
talk much more specific. And I've listened to all the podcasts about episode 2. Episode 2 was great. Look, do you want to talk about the Sean allegations first, or do you want to give?
Yeah.
Do you have that post?
I think I took a picture. Okay, so I took a picture of the letter that was written to Oregon, whatever, DHS.
Oh, I didn't see this. Originally I saw.
Oh no, it was in the TikTok I sent you. I just took a screenshot of it.
Oh, maybe I didn't watch that whole thing. I heard rumblings a couple weeks ago that I heard on the Raccoon podcast that like one of the guys, I'm sure they said Sean, but I didn't know who that was at that point. But one of the men had been accused of like maybe grooming and just being creepy. But that's all I really knew. Then what girl posted that thing on Reddit, like, hey, Taya, this is so-and-so. So there was that. I didn't even know what you're about to say. There's a letter, like a letter written.
Yes. So I think this is the letter that Malaya, whatever,
that's the one that wrote
who's ever talking on Reddit, had received from the report where she reported. Okay, so this was dated September 29th, 2016.
Oh, wow.
I guess we should be just, for those of you who don't know, just really quickly, there's Taya and Sean. Taya's brunette. Sean is like the
bald one,
lumberjacky ginger.
That's being generous, Jodie. Lumberjack implies a sense of.
Lumberjack actually would be more Tyler, actually.
Yeah, Tyler is like good. Like, I don't like his fucking smug smile, though. I don't like.
No,
I only like
always smiling.
Alicia's the victim in here, but Sean and Taya are diabolical. I consider they're both unemployed, which I think is a major. Everyone should have a job, but I feel like that really paints a lot of this, and that they came into this together both with no jobs. So it seems like they're kind of getting a lot out of this.
Yeah, and Sean's like, oh, I have a prediction that we're all going to be living together within 6 months. Let me guess, because you guys don't have jobs.
Right, yeah, they're going to foot the bill for everything.
Right.
Or Alicia, but she also might be a monster too. But so far, she just seems perfectly a victim.
Yeah, Alicia's the blonde. She's married to Tyler. I guess like you would say traditionally, he's the better looking of the two. He's got dark brown hair, beard. Yeah, he just has a nervous smile all the time and deeply insecure, which makes him like kind of.
But it comes off as smug. It comes off as like.
I think Sean. I mean, Sean. We said from the get-go, he's calling you fat to your face. That piece of shit is calling you fat to your face. There's something creepy. Yeah, he's way too moody. And he was the one who went after Raina, the daughter, because she wasn't like doing her chores or something.
Yeah, like and then their version of being grounded was you're shunned from the family.
Yeah, no one can speak to you, and you cannot eat at the dining room table.
You're in your room in the basement. And Sean also, I don't even know if we went over this in our first episode, but he was 40 when he met Taya, who was 22. And he has, I didn't know this when we first recorded.
And he was her boss.
5 kids from a previous marriage. 2 of them are steps. 2 of them are steps, but 3 are biological. He used to have their names on his arm, and then he got them covered up. And that's why he has those 2 heinous tattoos on his arm. Wild. Right. That in itself already makes him a huge piece of shit.
Yes. Yeah. And that Taya brought Sean around to this whole friend group that they had. I don't know if maybe they were swingers, whatever it was, doesn't matter. that she brought Sean around knowing that there were these allegations against him.
Yes.
And I guess
Tina wanted to open the marriage. Wonder why?
Yeah. Okay.
I let the fuck
and
anyone than you.
And that Alicia and Tyler allegedly didn't know that he had these charges until after they moved in.
Okay, well then that's it. Bye. Like, sorry that you already moved your stuff in, but it's done.
So this is 2016, September 29th, 2016. This letter is to provide you a summary of your recent child welfare assessment. DHS received a call of concern regarding Sean Hartless, ironic, but Hartless, indicating that he allegedly had inappropriate sexual interactions online or via phone app with a minor child in another state. Sean was/is currently being investigated by detectives in New Mexico, and limited information can be provided regarding this criminal case. Because of this concern, DHS has assessed Sean for threat of harm, sexual abuse, exploitation against the children in your home. After careful review of police records and a full DHS assessment, the case was closed with a founded disposition. It is believed that if Sean is a threat to one child, he is a potential threat to all children. It is concerning. Oh, sorry, I have to zoom in. It is concerning that Sean may have legal rights to see and visit with your shared children. After meeting with you, it is my impression that you are a safe and able parent who is willing to put the needs of the children above your own and act protectively. If you have any questions regarding your case, please contact me. And then that person's blocked out. So,
well, they're doing a bang up job over there at Child Protective Services because he's still out there on the loose raising other people's kids.
Well, I mean, if he's living with them, maybe that's Tyler and Alicia's choice. I don't know. But also, way to go, TLC. Way to put another person on the air before fully vetted.
Arguing this, but like, don't we? I mean, who out there is walking around thinking TLC like isn't looking for these exact people?
Yeah, that are like on the fringe.
They knew about Josh Duggar for like when they hired them. They knew about Josh Duggar. Josh, what everyone looks like Radu.
Yeah. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to not put the show out and not make millions of dollars off of it. Like that, I mean, that is what is happening. They're putting it out. They're like, okay, well, we're going to make money. We'll issue an apology, whatever. Okay, if we have to take it off, but they're still going to make money on it.
Which makes me wonder how bad it was with the adults adopting adults person, because they don't even talk about that.
It really is a shame.
But I mean, we know what probably the next.
I think we even talked about this, that Sean gave us that same guy vibes. And sure enough, this tells you, listen to your gut, people.
Always. We're always right.
To your gut. Your little spidey senses, your little hairs stand up in the back of your neck. Yeah.
How many times have you been wrong?
How
many times have you been wrong when you had a gut feeling and then ignored it? I would say 0.
Yeah, never.
It always comes back, even in like weeks or months or years. It's like,
years, decades, right? Yep.
I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's talk about this DNA test. First of all, Sean's wrong. 2B blood type parents can have an O type child. Yes.
Okay. Jesus. Well, here's the thing: is like it all seemed like they did not know that would like they didn't know that blood would tell you that. So he clearly took the next step. It's like going and reading a review. Don't look things or looking at your partner's phone. Don't look up something unless you don't want to know, unless you don't want to find something. So he clearly looked it up and then found that.
I think because he wanted to be mad. This is where Sean lives. It's just like we talk about, like with Mary or with other kind of fringe personalities. It serves them in some way. It serves him to have people afraid of him being upset. That's why they all tiptoe around him and he gets to do what he wants. Absolutely. You
terrifying.
tiptoe around him. Right. For some reason, he holds power in the house. It's not financially because he's not the breadwinner. So it can be his temper and his anger. He can set the tone in that house. And
Well,
he
we
does.
saw how he acted at the dodgeball thing, which I mean, again, you and I both talked about this. We're in this new stage of life. It's like, I'm not putting up with any of this.
No.
So you can be upset, but like, I'm not
no patience.
it. So he's like sitting watching the kids. No, I'm just watching them play. No, I'm not. This is not cute.
No, I'm going to keep you safe and we're going to go home because people need to be careful when they're throwing the dodgeball. We're going to go home right now.
No, I'm not dealing with a man baby ever again in my fucking life. Never.
Yeah, I have no fucking patience for that.
No.
Adam has found that out the wrong way. Like one time he had like a tummy ache and I was like, well, no, I'm not a total bitch, but like there's certain things like it is going to trigger me and I have to just be like, okay. But this
you
kind of shit,
with an actual man baby for 20 years.
And as you saw near the end, I mean, thousands of people could pull up the photos that like I've shown or whatever. Like, yeah, zero patience. Even when he had the wound, did I have patience, babe?
That was really I'll never just never forget like how much that really did affect my own brain chemistry about your husband.
Yeah.
When I was just like, I was so grossed out by that because I'd experienced it so much and it's just so not cute and so enraging because we're not allowed to do that as girls.
Yeah, but it's like everyone knows, but it's like when you're with someone, it doesn't even have to be a man. Maybe it's your mom or like a friend or whatever.
Yeah.
That like when they get upset or they're bothered or angry about something, it will ruin the day, the party, the room, the lunch, whatever you're at.
I've done that so many times. In my 20s.
Like but you don't know how to deal with that person. Like, for example, Sean knows what he's doing at this dodgeball game because he's upset. And he knows that no one's going to call him on it there because they don't want to make a scene.
No, it's inappropriate.
Right? Like, right. And I don't want you upset at me. So they let him do what he's going to do, even though he looks like an idiot. And he's on a power trip now. He's getting something out of it. And everyone else is just like, okay, we're in public. I wish I could say something to him now, but I can't because what are we going to have a fight in public? And everyone's going to be like, oh, look at this dysfunctional family. It's so fucked up like that. So then you go home and that he's just piling on. And that's what Sean did. I think Sean did Google blood type, saw that and is just...
He said that. He said, I didn't know. And then I went and investigated myself. So if he just hadn't done that,
but I think he does know there is another possibility too.
He probably knows, oh, none of these are my kids because they all look exactly like Tyler.
But why isn't anyone else also Googling to fact check this?
Because Tyler knows that it's his and Alicia knows that it's Tyler's and Taya wants and knows. Wants it
okay,
to be.
What do you think about Taya's first kid? Is Taya's first kid Tyler's?
I think all of the new kids are... Wait. Sean, see, we were speculating about that as like maybe Sean's dick don't work, but he has 3 other kids, so it does.
And that he had a vasectomy, and that he reversed it to have kids with Taya.
I've heard that like that's not always.
And then they both had vasectomies while Taya was pregnant.
Yeah, I forgot which podcast it was.
Snap. Yeah, snap. Yeah,
I think it was Corey and Carly that said like they don't trust each other. Also, they must have gone in together and like had to be in the same room to like see it happening at the exact same time. 3, 2, 1.
I want to see some dead swimmers. I want to see some floaties.
I want to hear him scream like a girl at the exact same time I do.
Yeah, I don't know about Alicia's though. Because Alicia's little one is more blonde and fair.
Well, all of this said, this is a shit show. This is horrible.
It's an awful idea. First of all, I don't think it's fair to your kids for them to not know.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. This is fucked up.
When they could know, especially, I would say this, especially, because I don't think like DNA, you need to know biologically, for example, in the case of like adoptions or,
I
things
think
like that.
as long as the information travels with you throughout your life so that when you do need that information, you have it, but like you don't need to necessarily
But
know.
this is weird because you're being raised by both of them. So you don't know which one is my biological dad, and you will always wonder, and look, and other people will always wonder. Strangers like us
That'll
will
be
always
their
be wondering.
that'll be their first fucking question.
Right, and it's I'm not saying it's right, but that is a natural curiosity,
Yeah.
especially if this kid's looking, or these kids now are looking at these 2 men, and these 2 men don't get along. So it's not as if like you're living in this like hippie commune, everyone's getting along. It's like, daisies and rainbows and love. These 2 men hate each other. So that's really cool if like one dad that you're actually related to hates your other dad. I mean, it's so
One, I
fucked up
think
on many
that's
levels.
something I do like about this show, though, is that in refreshingly, it's showing. Hello. Oh, you were frozen with your eyes rolling, which was perfect. You're just like fully reflecting on how bad the show is, but it's refreshing to see a dynamic where the 2 women are getting along, not being like a cat fight the whole time, and then the 2 dads being the
But
2
are
men.
they really?
Well, but the men are acting so overtly immature. And I enjoy seeing that because men always like to pride themselves on like men first and, growing it out.
Right, right, right.
But the women seem to be getting along. Taya scares me though. She seems honestly
Yeah, I
diabolical.
don't like Taya reminds me of kind of like I'm just gonna say it, like kind of like a trashy, like I don't know. Like I imagine like someone that you would work with, and you're like, you're a complete fucking bitch. You're younger than me, and you think you're better, and that you know better.
Yeah,
Like
that girl
just
that
that.
bullied me at a sleepover.
Yes, like
That's
someone at
exactly
work
who
who
this
would
girl is.
bully you, who have zero right to be bullying you. That like anyone else, you would tell them off, but you can't. There's just in her face. Like Taya's always just looking at you with that
Right.
face.
Yeah, and they're like, but they have like an alpha personality, and you're kind of
Yes.
plus personality, and
Oh,
so you're just like, I just don't have the energy to like. What's the point? Then if you
and
speak
Taya's,
up, you get reprimanded anyway.
I don't know why, but she comes off lazy to me, and I don't know why.
Oh, probably because she came into this relationship with no job and still has no job. Probably that. Maybe that
Oh,
is
okay.
happening.
I don't know. It's because like I've seen her pregnant and sitting around. I don't know. She just like reads to me as lazy.
Well, yeah, I think her and Sean are both lazy, and I don't think Sean should be parenting their. That is so like he's at home all day with them alone as Tyler's
Yeah,
working.
no.
I just
I
don't
don't
love
like
it.
that. Mm-mm. And
Did
just
you
like,
watch
yeah, the way I
3?
did, and even the way Sean spoke to Raina, they were like packing up the car, and the daughter Raina comes on. He's like, "Why don't you just go get another sweatshirt?" Like it was just the way he said it was very snappy.
They are
Like,
all the whole family does kind of center around Sean to make sure that they're regulating his emotions for him at all times. Um,
yes, I
and
can relate to that. I will say this, like, I do think there are people in a home. I experienced a marriage like this where the person's mood sets the tone for the home. And it's
yeah,
very similar to like I've heard this quote forever ago. I know I've said it in various contexts, but um you are only as happy as your saddest child.
yeah, oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I think it's also like your household mood can only be as good as like
The
the
person in the
person
worst
who's
mood.
in the worst mood.
Yeah,
Yes, because it does, like Mary, it brings an energy into the room. It
Mary really
just
rocked this season,
fucking
by the way.
does.
I gotta say, Mary especially came out of the season. Look, that it was the season finale, by the way. Okay, but anyway, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
The scene where Sean and Tyler go and meet, and then Tyler just can't wipe the fucking smug, the nervous, I will say at that time, smile off his face. But Sean, he sits down. They're meeting together at a restaurant. And Sean sits down. He's like,
They
slide.
leaving the house that they both live
Yeah.
in.
They sit down, and then Sean just picks up the menu, and now he's going to silently look at the menu. And again, I would think I would just walk out of the restaurant. I just do not have time for this.
That guy. That guy.
That guy.
I've anger goosebumps all over.
Maybe I want to read Oh God, can you even find it? I want to read that thing from Malaya. Do you have it?
I just had that letter.
Here it is.
Oh.
Hey girl, hey. Okay, it says, hey, if you're Taya, read this. Hey girl, hey, since you want to continue to act shady, threaten with lawsuits, etc., let's clear the air. I'll identify myself publicly. It's Malaya, but you likely already know that from things I've said. I know you're reading these threads. You haven't cleared anything up because it's all true. Threatening folks won't work. And why not, you ask? Because it's not defamation when it's true. This, honestly, if I was Taya, I'd be fucking scared shitless of Malaya.
That's true. That's why our show is still on the air, folks.
I mean, as far as Dave goes and Radu, the amount of times Radu threatened to get my show shut down. And why not? You ask? Because it's not defamation. You can threaten me, Cap, Kelsey, Misty, Sam. Interesting group of people here.
I was just gonna say, let me guess. In the swinger community,
Cap,
Misty.
Kelsey spelled with an A on the end, trailing A. Misty, Sam. Sam could be any sexuality or
they.
You know, they, yeah, we're gonna go with they, them. Whoever else, but where are the lies aside from the ones that fall out every time you speak? Remember how you lied to your friends and the entire poly community about how you met Sean and his history, and that you never told any of us he was a predator? You let us take our children around all of you. We remember. You never told your now ex-girlfriend either. Remember how you defended him? It's like Robyn with Jodie. Remember how you cut anyone out of your life that called out his problematic behavior? Remember how he covered up the tattoo of his kids' names? So I am not the only one, but I am the first one who called CPS about Raina. So be mad at me because I got all the proof I need and we are truly concerned for her well-being. So Taya, if you want to talk, unblock me and call me. I'll be waiting. And this is the last time I'll speak publicly on this matter until after CPS is done investigating. All four of you make me sick. Again, I'll be waiting for your call if you actually have the guts to call. We can even video chat if like we used to. Balls in your court, Taya. I will say this. You all either have balls of steel or you're incredibly stupid to think that no one was going to expose you. Hey, TLC, if you want the real story, talk to people who truly know them. We will do interviews totally free and quit putting fucking predators on TV. Yeah. Adding, also, I know y'all are steadily reporting posts and comments, but make no mistake, you won't silence me. If Reddit doesn't want you exposed, we can do it on TikTok. And then let's talk about the reason Sean can't hold a job. It's because even though he's never had formal charges, he's had lots of accusations and even inappropriate conversations with a 13-year-old girl. So people keep reporting this to his job when they find out when he is employed. This is why this is why I do like social media for things like that.
Yep.
People like to be nosy and they love to get involved. So he gets let go and has to find another one. This is fucked up too. Don't you find it suspicious that he's always seeking out work around children, teacher's aide, education paraprofessional, camp counselor, working with special needs students? See a pattern? You know what I like about Malaya is that she's a level of unhinged that I wouldn't want to fuck with her. I believe that she would do all of these things.
Oh no, you come with your facts. Yeah. You lay them out. I love it.
Yeah.
And then when you're finally ready to explode, you let it out.
And she did. I love that she kept coming back.
Social media posts or like a podcast during hot topics when your co-host is least expecting it. And you just, it's like a zit that's finally come to a head after years. It's just. I remember your face just being like.
No, you actually, like, we actually discussed, like, maybe you just do, like, all of the recap part. I'm like, no, I can, but right before we went on, I'm like, but I will say officially, like, if this was a restaurant job, I would be calling in sick for this show.
Oh, I was talking about when I went off and just like said everything awful
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my face was like, all right, here she goes. No warning on that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Anyway,
that was
okay. So wait, let's talk about this. Wait, what was it? Like tub on the hot tub on the river or whatever. Their hot tub time.
Ew, that was so gross. It looked like they were just all taking a bath together and drinking in like murky, cloudy water.
They got close to Mary territory with the like naked hot tub time. Like they're so cool. They have naked hot tub time. Not when you are average 40-year-old bodies and people and Sean.
It's like
Don't
rewatching
want to
Seeking
know.
Sister Wives again, where it was all of
Yeah.
them in the hot. Oh God, that was some rough stuff. Yeah.
So obviously Alicia and Taya, they're getting down, right? But Alicia just doesn't want that on camera, I think.
Oh, you think that would be the only way that I would
Mm.
understand how these women are still like okay with each other, or that Alicia is still okay with Taya. I don't think Taylor
I
has.
think they're just in a good season because they said they started off rocky. Like I think they're getting along now, probably because Taya's pregnant. Oh no, but I think normally pregnant women like to fuck a lot. I was gonna say maybe she's not fucking a lot, so like Tyler and Sean are, hitting up Alicia, so she's cool. But no, I think Taya's pretty kinky, like with anything. I think they're just in a good season of their friendship.
How long do you foresee this going?
Oh, not long. Like maybe another year. Maybe.
But if TLC keeps renewing them, then they're going to have to stay together, which is even
I don't
better
think
for us.
after
Not
this.
great for the kids.
I don't think they will after this.
Really, after like going back and rewatching it, right?
Well, he's going to be, I mean, purely speaking, financially wise, he will be a huge insurance risk.
Oh, yes. So what do you think happens on TLC's end then? What if they want to keep him?
It would be very expensive to keep him.
What are you insuring at that point?
Well, not like his health insurance or anything, but like production companies and studios and stuff have to get or they should like get insurance if like they have to shut down the project or anything like that.
Yeah,
I
that's why
believe
Chris Farley wasn't doing any projects at the end of his life because no one would insure him because he was like not sober. That makes sense.
Yeah, and like if they're a risk to production, like do we want to think well, yeah, or even just getting started, like liability wise. What if DHS does something and a complaint is followed through on, blah, 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 something else comes up and we have to cut the season, but we've already put in, $500,000 a season for this show. Are we willing to like risk it all for Sean?
They can film around it though. The Browns all broke up and they're still tugging.
Yeah, but that's different when you're talking about like child possibly grooming, sexual assault and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
because when they did find out about the Josh Duggar stuff eventually, right? Like they did.
That they knew about it already though. But you mean when it became public? They knew when they hired them. Like they hired them knowing that.
I don't think I don't think this show is that big of a
True.
Well, maybe it will be now. People are watching it. But think about how many other shows. Didn't they just have like that brother husband show that was awful?
Yeah, but I wonder if they do this because more people. I wonder if they hire these families knowing these allegations because they know that Reddit will pop off. So like if people online can figure this stuff out, everyone will watch this. I mean, it is working. Everyone's talking about this.
But I don't think they found out about this because there weren't any like charges filed.
Yeah, but
like he hasn't had to register as a sex offender or anything.
Oh my God. Ew.
Like unless
that he's
getting unless you ask for a child like DHS report, I don't think that's like public information unless you go and ask specifically. I believe if it's just like a report, unless they've like if they close the case, that's not going to come up on a background check, I believe.
Oh, well, guess we'll see. But I mean, I'm in. I really hate all of them though. Alicia, I feel bad for her.
That hot tub shit. Gross. Also, unless you want to be swimming in these people's urine and you're comfortable with that, just know you're swimming in everyone's urine. For sure. Like you're on a boat for 2 or 3 hours drinking, you're all pissing in there.
I would be constantly
Sean's piss. Taya's piss.
And his
piss
Taya's
is like Caitlin's.
yellow.
Yeah.
All of them. I feel like all of these guys do the do.
Not Alicia, because Alicia carries her water bottle everywhere. She wants us to know she's a serious water drinker. Okay, stay tuned. What else we got? Karen Reed.
Karen Reed. This is all. Let me throw the courtroom.
Oh, dun, 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 dun. Well, did I send you the TikTok last night where there's speculation about Judge Bev calling not it was it Yannetti? She called one of the attorneys supposedly asshole when he demanded a sidebar, basically. Now, I do believe she hates the defense. If she honestly called him an asshole, that would be a mistrial. Like, she'd be taken off the case.
Does anyone want a mistrial? Because then you're gonna have to go do this again. Can we just have this be done?
Well, I mean, the state could decide to just try her. That would be up to them if they think they still have enough evidence, which, I mean, I think everyone, like, even people who think she
possibly could do it.
Yeah, I still do think she possibly could have hit him. I don't think her tail light broke there. I don't think like she knows that she killed him. I do think okay. Here we go. Let's just jump into it because there's been so much that's happened. All right. So last we talked on Monday, Buchanan, who worked for the state police, who was Michael Proctor's boss. Michael Proctor was in charge of the investigation. He was fired for handling this case. Buchanan was on the stand, and they cannot say, no one testifying, the judge and the attorneys, no one can say that there has been a previous trial that was a mistrial hung jury. They cannot even say that there was a trial before. They can only say in previous questioning, in a previous proceeding. They can't let the jury know that.
But the jury knows, right? They really managed to find 12 people that had never heard of this before?
I guess, yeah. They know it. The jury knows it's a high-profile case. And they're seeing now evidence being brought in from like Dateline episodes, ID episodes, and things like that.
Oh.
Okay. So what ended up happening, so Buchanan was on the stand for days, and he wasn't great. He came off a little defiant, kind of a dick, not so smart at sometimes. Doubling down, he was said Michael Proctor, he served this case with honor and integrity, and then they would question him. He would take a really long time to answer things when he could answer it really quick, which is going to turn a jury off because they're like, dude, you know it was Michael Proctor. Just say his name. Don't say I don't know. Right towards the end of his testimony, the defense got a hold of police station footage of Brian Higgins showing up at the police station when he didn't say he was there. He said he was there at a different time. Also, he's a state trooper, so why is he at the Canton Police Department? They show him going inside.
Who is Higgins again? Just remind
Higgins is the one that was texting Karen Reed. They were like, "You're hot." And he's
okay.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yes. The hottie of the case.
Right.
Yeah. The male lead in this rom-com.
Yeah. Just like how Sean is hot.
Yeah, he's the
Brian
Sean.
Higgins is hot.
A hot one.
Yes. It makes me so angry just to think these guys, these men.
Yeah. They're walking around out there.
With a badge.
Yeah.
Demanding respect.
Calling us fat.
Yeah. So he pulls up to the police station at 1:30 something. Okay. So now this is an hour after Karen has supposedly left John, and that Higgins is at 34 Fairview, that he's at the party. He goes to the police station. He's only there for 7 minutes. They show him park his Jeep. He goes inside. He's wearing.
Yet. No one knows he's dead yet.
No one knows. Nope.
Okay, so he just randomly goes to the police station at 1:30 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Oh. No.
He's on a phone. You see him outside, cell phone up to his ear. It's lit up. Police never pulled records from that phone. Why? Well, because that phone, Brian Higgins drove to a military base to destroy whatever, right?
Because of your phone. Okay, what the fuck?
So he called someone at 1:30 in the morning, okay? Then he's off. He goes inside, he goes into some office, changes his shoes. He goes in wearing black with white soles. He comes out wearing a different pair of shoes. Goes out to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Turns on the car next to his parked Jeep.
Okay.
Then goes to another car parked facing that one. He gets like a duffel bag in or out of the car, goes back to his Jeep, puts it in, and then leaves. He's only there for 7 minutes. At some point in some other questioning, he says like he plowed or something at the police department. He didn't. So there's no reason that he would have been there. And no one has seen that before. No one has seen that footage. So Buchanan's on the stand. He sees it, right? And he's like, oh. Buchanan is also asked about if he knows about the
Sorry,
previous
let me
relationship.
interrupt. What are they? So what is the speculation? What's a theory on like if this was all a big
Okay, so
what would he be doing there?
So I've seen a couple TikTokers that like, you know, everyone puts their own spin on it. But basically this opens up the window to okay, how am I going to link this? God, there's like so many things I don't even like know where to start. God. Okay, so let's just say Karen and John. See, now I have to go back to the waterfall. Okay, let's go back to the waterfall for just a moment. Brian Higgins arrives at the waterfall where they're all drinking. The defense is like zoomed in on Higgins and Brian Albert talking at one point, and Higgins like points or motions towards John and Karen on the other side of the bar. And then like Albert, yeah.
And the water,
this is at the waterfall.
Is the bar.
At the bar before they leave, like 5 minutes before they leave.
Okay. Oh my.
Because these are the assholes that are closing down the bar, bringing like glassware out with them. Like these are these assholes who do rule this town. Cops who have 7, 8, 9 drinks in them and they get to drive home. They show him like pointing towards John. Brian Albert like shoos his arm or something. He's like motioning towards like John. So then what they speculate happened is,
so he's going like, I'm gonna kill him so I can fuck her.
Yeah, like, oh, does he even know like she's texting me or whatever? Or like, oh, blah, blah, because Karen was trying to get back at John because John kissed someone in Bermuda on vacation like 2 weeks earlier. They brought the kids or whatever. So she was like probably texting with Higgins in the like week or two after the vacation, because then he keeps asking like, well, why do you like me? And she's absolutely trying to kind of like sort of blow him off, but just kind of keep him there or whatever. So they speculate they pull up to the house. Karen learns that Higgins is going to be there and is like, fuck no, I'm not going in, because John's going to find out that she's just been texting this guy. Like they're going to talk her probably, right? So she's like, no, I'm not going in. And then John's like, okay, I'm going to go in. Or John goes in, sees Higgins is there. And she's like, well, fuck that. I'm not going in. Are you staying? People have said, instead of John going in the side door, this is the flaw that I see in this theory, that Karen said she saw John go in the side door. The basement door is actually right when you walk in the front door. So it would make sense. Forget Karen ever said side door. It would make sense if he went in the front door, which wasn't commonly used. Most people use the side door. If he went in, supposedly the basement door is like right there. Like you walk in the front door and like the basement door will be open. It's finished. And there possibly was like noise down there. So John's like, oh, people are down there, goes downstairs. Meanwhile, Jen McCabe, who's texting him, oh, are you here? Blah, blah, blah. She's in the kitchen expecting John to come in the side door, but he doesn't. he comes in the front door. So she's like, hey, saw your car. Are you here? Blah, blah, blah. He's downstairs, which is why she stopped texting. Because most people would be like, would you leave? Where'd you go? Are you coming back? But she doesn't. So he goes downstairs. Higgins is down there. A tussle ensues. The dog, who
gets in there,
maybe wasn't downstairs, maybe was upstairs, but then Colin, the nephew, who had some beef with John because maybe he was like a drug dealer allegedly, knows John's there. Somehow Chloe gets like released. The dog, there's a tussle. It goes upstairs. They throw John out. The dog, you know, he's scratched up, beat up, whatever. He goes out. He passes out. They're like, whatever.
Because all that adrenaline, maybe that was like he's drunk, he's got all adrenaline, and then like his body like takes it in.
Yeah, maybe Higgins then goes to the station to like change, whatever. Maybe they don't know he's there. Maybe they do. Maybe he goes to the station while the Alberts are cleaning shit up. He comes back, and people are saying that between the time Higgins would come and go, the Nagels who were there to pick up, they just miss him. But then the Nagels were there to pick up the younger sister, but then she decided to stay because Colin was there.
My own immediate family members' names, first and last names, as quickly as you're pulling these people's names out of your memory.
I'm telling you, like, I'm living this. So the other thing is that Buchanan, then another text came out. At least for me, listen, there may be things that some of you like know from before that I don't, whatever, but this is new to me, and I'm pretty sure new, was that Michael Proctor, we all know him. He was fired after the first trial. He's been relieved of his duties. Buchanan did get like a reprimanded or something because after this case, after a group text message was revealed between Proctor, Buchanan, Buchanan's boss, some other guy, calling Karen Reid the R word, saying my R word client, haven't found any nudes yet. Buchanan's like laughing, thumbs up. Buchanan's his boss. And then months later gives him an outstanding, like extraordinary work review. So like, yes, this is a systemic thing. Like, he's calling people this, whatever. So that came out. Then Buchanan finds out on the stand that Proctor had more of an existing relationship with the Alberts than he told Buchanan. He told Buchanan, like, oh yeah, like maybe our wives or kids have played, but it's more like an acquaintance. Then we find out the Alberts texted Proctor after Proctor had been working on the case. After he'd been working on the case, we'd like to send you a gift for for how well you're working on the case.
Yikes.
And he goes, he's like, oh, send it to my wife. That's not weird to you? That,
probably
like,
money, right?
Yeah. Or something.
Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that, like, okay, if a crime were, if something happened and I were a witness or something and I helped out, right? Like a dead person was found, and I text the state trooper, we'd like to give you a gift. Like, you just been working so hard. First of all, that would be a weird thing to say, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, it's weird.
Like, maybe, oh, we'd like to just send you something, whatever, if it were something like that. And then someone will reply, oh, no, that's not necessary, right?
That's, yeah, normally. Yeah.
Please, no, it's my job. It's my pleasure, whatever. So you don't say that. And then you say, send it to my wife. Not like what? Need. That's all very weird. Yeah, and then it just ends. And then no other speaking of it. And then we find out there was like a much deeper, longer term relationship between them. Yeah, it's all real shady. I can't see how they will ever be able to convict her with this much reasonable doubt.
There is so much reasonable doubt. All of that.
And now the defense. Yeah. So the defense now, by the way, I listened to the TikTok a couple times and then I watched it again where Judge Beverly supposedly says asshole. You could slow it down. I think it gets cut off, and I think it sounds like they're going to say ask him, blah 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 blah. I
Yeah,
don't.
it didn't
I
sound
don't
enough
even
to
think
me.
it was her.
No.
I do think she is like kind of prejudicial towards the defense, but what the defense has started to do, yesterday at the end of the day, they started doing this, is they're just throwing things out there, knowing there's going to be an objection and it's going to get stricken from the record, but the jury has to hear it, even though they can't use it
I
in their
love that.
deliberations.
Yeah. I always wonder about that. I'm like, oh, if I was a lawyer, I would just say everything.
Like, Adam's like, I asked Adam, I'm like, can they do that? Like, can they get in trouble? He's like, well, no, like they can get reprimanded by the judge, but the jury has heard it and they know that. And he's like, and the prosecution's doing it too. We're just not picking up on it because it's like bitch eating crackers. Like anything the prosecution asks, we're like, oh, that's rich.
Yeah.
But they're doing it too. But the defense yesterday started doing stuff. They're like, are you aware that Michael Proctor was fired for working on this case? And they're like, objection. And then the judge is like, to make it clear that's stricken from the record, you may not use that in your, the same thing. They're like, Officer Lally was fired after working on, and they're saying former Officer Proctor, former blah, blah, blah. I think I said the wrong name there, but anyway.
Okay, here, let's go back to, I'll use this as an example. Like the Menendez brothers case, the second one, they weren't allowed to like say anything from the first trial. So I don't think they were even allowed to even say like SA. So just saying they say that, like just say that this is what's happening. Yeah. And the jury's sitting there and they've never heard that. And then they say, oh, the dad sexually assaulted. And then the jury's like, what? And then the judge is like, oh, you're not allowed to use that.
You may not use that.
What if now the jury leaves and they're like, well, we have no other evidence, but we heard that. So that's what we're basing it on. Are they not allowed? Do they have to tell the judge, this is why we think this? Or do they just decide and then not have to say anything?
No, that's the point, is that like, it's going to be a little worm in your brain and you can't like unthink that.
Yeah. Okay. So
it is a strategic thing. It's dirty, but like, who knows?
All right, great.
I mean, again, I cannot see a way that.
When is it kind of wrapping up?
Well, this is just the Commonwealth. This is just the Commonwealth presenting their case.
Oh my God.
And the defense is so now the defense puts on their full show. And the prosecution will then get to like
counter.
And I'm not sure in the state of Massachusetts whether they get to like do a redress at the end, or I don't know.
Are you watching? Are you paying attention to the Diddy trial? Because I'm actually kind of like really into that.
A little bit as it comes up. All I know is that Cassie, his ex, took the stand. She's real pregnant.
I read all that stuff, and then the husband walked out of court looking like such a badass. And I was like, ooh.
Wait, what happened? Oh, I don't know this. Tell me.
Her husband like walked out of court, and he looked like he was like about to kill someone, and I was like, that's hot. But I guess they have a video of an entire freak off, and it's maybe 7 hours long, and maybe I just heard that
it's what
7 hours long. So they broke, and now the jury gets to watch an entire freak off. The amount of money I would pay to be in that jury. What if you get to sit down and watch?
Oh, I would not want to see that shit.
Kids stuff, but I'd love to see the celebrities that are there.
Wait, kids stuff?
Yeah, because there's all the like the sex trafficking and stuff. Aren't there? Isn't there
like how old kids stuff?
I feel like Justin Bieber was like, this is why like there's all that speculation. I think it's like young, right?
Wait, like they have young celebrities that they are bringing women in to fuck, or they're bringing kids in it?
Well, I mean, like they bring in a bunch of people. There's like underage. Isn't that part of the speculation that some of these people are underage?
I don't know. I haven't really kept up on it because it.
And there's like
just
escort,
like sex crime stuff.
Escort like was peeing on Cassie for so long that she started choking because it was in her mouth. They like she was on the ground and everyone just started like peeing on her face. This is like part of like her, and she's not even. She is just a character witness against Diddy. So she's not even like involved really. She's literally just there to be like, he's a piece of shit. And then they also found like a fully unedited 15-minute clip of that elevator video of like him beating the shit out of her. So, but anyway, the jury gets to watch a freak off. is the new thing. So they
Oh
broke.
my God. That is,
I know.
oh, I mean, ass to ass still haunts me. And I'm not even kidding. Like
Yeah.
it makes me so sick to even think about that
She
from,
said
what
there
was
was
that?
just like,
Requiem
she's
for a
like
Dream.
she said after the freak offs were over, there was urine everywhere, there was blood everywhere, and there was baby oil everywhere.
Like, is this just to humiliate people? Are they like getting off on it? I
I
don't.
think it's a lot of it is humiliation and power. And a lot of them are like, it's a lot of closeted stuff in there. A lot of that.
So so is like Diddy having sex or raping all these people, or is it just like
Yeah,
orgies, or
yeah, but they'll like hire escorts like and stuff. An escort said that
they're like
an escort
doing things to them?
the escort came, there was an escort that was on the stand, and he said that like he was like put in a room, and then he like and then they brought him out, and he did all this stuff, and then he went back in this room like by himself, and then a couple hours later they brought him back out for like round 2, and it just went on and on and on.
And they like couldn't leave.
No, but here's the other thing is like even if I'm like in my horniest of hornies, once I have sex and it's over, I'm like, all right, I don't want to do round 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Like I'm good.
Oh yeah, for
Shower
like,
and go to bed.
yeah. Oh my God. See, that's why I can't follow this stuff. Like that's gonna. Oh, I don't like
All right,
that.
well, maybe on our next pop-up, I'll do updates on the Diddy trial, and you can do
Yeah.
updates every week. Because for some reason, I can't wrap my head around. But you did a really good job today at explaining that, because I actually followed all that, and that's juicy.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot. It's a lot. I recommend just having, actually, this is what I highly recommend. Court TV. Go on YouTube, Court TV, just type in Kara Reed trial today. Go to like the recap of it. It'll say it's 7 hours long, but they put chapters on it. And then you can just fast forward. You just jump to your chapter. Don't even watch the Commonwealth questioning, because like boring. They're going to get all like the, yeah. You go to the defense, and then you can fast forward through all the sidebars and all that. It's great.
I'm just really quickly Googling here. Am I like wrong about like them being like underage kids there? Because you seemed really
no, that sounds right. No, like I purposely
sexually
not.
assaulting boy 10 in NYC. Yeah, no, that's part of it. I mean, I don't know why I'm misjudging myself. Of course, that's part of it. Of course,
10. What the
fuck?
Just one. Wrong with people?
Men are disgusting. God. That's why like Justin Bieber, I think, is so extra fucked up these days, because all of this shit's coming out. Everyone's like talking about him, and like he was involved in all. Like he was like. I think and Usher, there's just been like grooming. I think Diddy was probably groomed too as a child. This is all like a fucking cycle. And they like have these kids growing up, and then those kids go and find other kids. And I don't know if they're necessarily being like touched, or they're there though. Justin Bieber is getting invited to.
I don't even think you have to being exposed and seeing that stuff at a young age.
Yeah.
Fucks you up. That is traumatic to see.
They're just not touching anyone. I mean, it's sick. It's absolutely sick. And I'm excited to see all the new names that come up. Mike Myers was named in the trial, but I guess I said that. John said something about, God, was it
like not every party has to be a freak off.
That's true. But no, but it was the first day of the trial. They're like, here are the 2 names of celebrities that came out: Michael B. Jordan, Michael Myers. And I was like, ooh, this is juicy. But then someone said in our comments that actually, no, it was just, those are questions that they were asking in the jury selection. Do you know who these 2 celebrities are? Just to be like, how knowledgeable are you of pop culture? But still, I love hearing Mike Myers come up.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about like Rosie O'Donnell, when this first came out, was like, he was my next door neighbor on Star Island. I went to a couple parties, but like maybe like that's the thing. Like not every party he had was a freak off, but I'm sure he had a lot of them.
Parties, and then there was freak offs, and those
OJ. Just because OJ didn't murder you doesn't mean he wasn't allegedly. If he did it,
the freak offs would go sometimes 4 days. So I'm sure there's a lot of cocaine going around.
That's awful. I can't. Blech.
I don't want to do anything.
All right. Well, that
great.
does it.
Pop-up episode. Thank you for joining us this week on
Pop-up Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Oh, Girl Dinner.